All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Nervous?
No, not at all. I've done this before.
That's good. That's good. That's awesome. Hey, so hold on. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, and I need to refer to my notes too because I was going to.
Oh yeah, because you have the monkey.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see here. Shutter speed, aperture. There was one other thing that I was going to talk about with the camera. Oh, gear. Hey, it's Jason with JLM Photography, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got Myra with me.
Hi, how are y'all?
Myra, thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate it.
Of course.
So one of the cool things to me about my photography, the way that I've been doing it the last 5 years, is relationships that you build over time. And so I met Myra a few years ago. We shot, and we've just kind of stayed in contact over the last couple of years. And unfortunately, this is like the first time we've been able to shoot since then,
Yes.
But it's just nice to be able to kind of build those relationships and have people that you can just reach out to create. It's always good to have those creative juices flowing. And so I just wanted to shoot with Myra again. We've got a couple different looks downtown San Antonio. It's an ugly day. You can't tell, but like it's just foggy all above these buildings here. And
Yep.
kind of nasty, but it actually works perfectly with one of the things that I wanted to talk about, which is 6 costly mistakes that photographers can make. And so that's what I'm going to talk about over the course of the photo shoot. Of course, we're going to see beautiful photos of Myra. And Myra, you also do lashes here in San Antonio, don't you?
I do, yes.
Yeah,
so
so-
I do lash extensions here. I also do brow care, and I'm learning to do nails as well. So
Fantastic. Is there like a business page that we can actually give them?
yeah, I can tag it. I can have you tag it. It would be lashesby.aaliyah, which is my middle name. So
Fantastic. Yes, so if you're in the San Antonio areas, lashes, extensions, right?
yes, brow care and nails.
Brow care and nails. Beautiful. All right, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
I'm also, it might be hard to see, I'm testing out some new wheels, so I'll let you know how they do downtown on these city streets by the end of the shoot. So it is an ugly day today, quite overcast. So again, I'm using the flash as I always do to create the good light that I want. 1, 2, 3. What if we go with your left hand up to the hat? Yep, perfect, perfect. Beautiful. And then maybe just kind of tuck that arm right here into the hair. And then give me that little look down, just like you were, just like that. And you can actually like play with the hair a little bit if you want, or you can just keep it right in there. 1, 2, 3. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, so costly mistakes that photographers make. The first one is shutter speeds. Typically, when I first learned how shutter speeds work is like at 1/250th of a second, you can kind of stop that action. Now, that depends on what the action is, but at 1/250th of a second, you can stop the action. At 1/60th of a second, you're gonna get some of that motion blur. So if Myra was standing here and she was waving, you would actually see some of that motion blur, and you don't necessarily wanna see that in a photo like that. But the other thing that is really important, and it took me a long time to figure out, is if you shoot it too slow, you're gonna get camera shake sometimes. Or again, the model might just slightly move and you're gonna get a little bit of out of focus shots. And so if you're struggling with out of focus, maybe what it is you're not shooting with a fast enough shutter. A good rule of thumb is always double the focal length of the lens. If I'm shooting with a 200mm lens, 1/400th of a second is minimum. All right, so what I wanted to do is actually show kind of that shutter movement. All right, so if I was to shoot it this way, 1, 2, 3, 2, and 3. So basically, I shot a couple of shots of Myra playing with her hair at 1/60th of a second. My camera does have in-body stabilization, so it will limit some of that shake, but you will definitely be able to see the hair there's a motion blur on the hair, and you don't really want that. So what you really do want is shooting it at least double. And so I say double here, and I'm gonna just make a couple adjustments for this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. Even at 1/200th of a second. So that again, it just tells me that the hair is falling faster than the shutter. So if you've got stuff out of focus, adjust your shutter speed. That could be the problem with your focus. So let me actually get a couple good shots with the light. Yeah. The second thing that photographers have an issue with, and I did as well, is when you are shooting portraits and you're shooting it as wide open as your lens will allow. For me, it's 1.2. That basically means that Myra's eyes are gonna be like perfectly in focus. And then things will start to blur out. That's why everything in the front is blurred out, everything in behind is blurred out. If I'm close enough for a portrait, what you're gonna actually notice is the eyes are in focus, and even her nose is gonna start to blur out. But the problem is when you introduce somebody else to that portrait. So say it's a couple's portrait or a friend's portrait, and you have two people in there. If their eyes are not on the same plane, if I'm shooting with Myra here, we will be in focus. But if I step back and I'm right here, I'm gonna be out of focus, and that's not what you want. And it's a tendency when you're a newer photographer to not make the correct adjustment. All right, so they're both on the same plane. I'm still shooting it at 1.2 on my aperture. I've got my eye autofocus set to Myra's closest eye to me. And so that shot right there should be just fine. If you direct your models, your couple, your friends to be on the same plane, that works. But the second you kind of add a little bit of depth to this shot, so what if we do like that? And now we just kind of come in, yeah, there we go. So Myra just offset. All she did was offset about 4 inches. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to focus on Cassie's front eye, or eye closest to me. And when you see the image on the screen, if you were to zoom in, you're gonna really notice that Myra is soft, like her focus is soft. Where do you really see this? And I still make the mistake. I have some families every now and then that want to do like and I say families, but like a husband and wife, and they want their pictures of their dog, right? And so now you've got a group of 3. You can't get the group of 3 on that same plane, and so a lot of times that dog is just right there. So the way that you would actually resolve that problem is to change the aperture on your camera. Okay, so what I actually want to do is I want to kind of figure out how I can get them both in focus using a depth of field calculator. I've actually mentioned it before in some other videos. I'll try to link it here. So I'm using an 85mm lens. I've got a full frame camera, so I've got that plugged in. And I can either do this 2 ways. If I want to keep my aperture at 1.2, I can keep that and plug that in and then go back a certain distance, which will show. So let's say I go back 30 feet. Oops, I want to keep it at 1.2, and I want to go back 30 feet. So at 30 feet back from my models here, I will have 2 feet 8 inches in focus. So that will definitely give me what I need. So I can do that. Let me take that picture. So 30 feet. And at 25 feet, it says almost 2 feet. So Myra, just make sure you're back about 4 inches. So keeping it at 1.2 on my aperture. Now the umbrella will probably be in the shot. There we go. So at 1.2 on my aperture, at 25 feet away, there's 2 feet that will be in focus. So from basically shoulder to shoulder on the back side of both of these ladies. Now, if you don't have that 30 feet, what you want to do is you actually are going to change your aperture. So I'm going to go ahead and change it from 1.2 to 2.8. And I'm going to do, what is that, about 10 feet, right? 10 feet. So at 10 feet, at 2.8, I have about 8 inches that are in focus. So I'm going to change that on my camera. So at 10 feet away from them, at 2.8, I should have about 8 inches in focus. And so when I look at that photo, they are both in focus, but using that depth of field calculator really helps. So bring that along with you when you're just starting out so you can kind of learn those distances. But so far, it's shutter speed and aperture are critical to making bad mistakes. All right, good?
Yeah.
Outfit change?
Perfect.
Thank you, Cassie, appreciate it. Beautiful, Myra, beautiful. Love the color and love the boots. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. All right, so point number 3, and this one's quick, it's not technical at all. gear does not make you a better photographer. I could be doing this with a budget camera, budget lens. They might not look as good and as blurred out with the focus, but I can still get the shot that I need to get the shot. I know exposure, I know lighting. Gear does not make you a better photographer. So don't think that you have to go out and spend $7,000 to $10,000 worth of gear to be able to get portraits. You can get them with $800 camera and a $200 lens. Lighting, again, that'll come, but it doesn't have to be the expensive lighting either. So non-camera related costly mistakes is not shooting at the perfect time of day. You know, a lot of photographers, they need that perfect golden hour light, morning, evening. But like today, I didn't even realize it when we got down here and it was just ugly, foggy, ugly, a little bit drizzly almost to the point. But you're missing out on a lot of fun opportunities when you don't work on days like this. Like, I love to work in the rain. Working in the rain is absolutely gorgeous. A lot of people don't do it. And again, a lot of people don't actually want to do it because maybe it's messing up hair or makeup. But test out and learn how to shoot on different days. Even like shooting at the middle of the day in the afternoon. That scares a lot of people, but do it. Right there, yep. And then right here. Yep. Gorgeous. Beautiful. 2 and 3. All right, so one other costly mistake that you can make is, especially when you're collaborating. I work with a lot of young women, and one thing that I learned real early on is don't shoot one-on-one with them. Always have them feel comfortable to bring somebody with them. You know, she's got boyfriend?
Boyfriend.
She's got a boyfriend and a friend in the entourage in the background, and you know, it's just it's for their security, their safety, but it's also for the photographer's security and safety. You just need to protect yourself. Reputation is key in this business, and the last thing that I need is anything negative on me. And so, not that she would say anything like that, but you just always want to protect yourself, but you always want to protect them as well. You know, I work with like 14, 15, 16-year-olds, and I don't need to be hanging out with anybody like that by myself, unless it's my daughter. So just always protect yourself. One-on-one, no-go, always have them bring somebody with you. And if they can't, I bring somebody with me. My wife, my daughter, somebody like that. So always protect yourself. Oh, the wind's working the wrong way, isn't it? You can use that hand to make sure that, and just hold it right in there, yep. Gorgeous. Last bit of advice, and this one's a very costly one because it actually costs you probably more time up front, is a lot of new photographers, and I am just as guilty. When we're really starting and we're trying to build that client group, you go out and you do a shoot like this, and then it's like, I'm gonna give you all 100 photos or 200 photos. That is a time waste, a time suck, but also what it does from the client's perspective is it's extremely overwhelming. Like, they're really gonna go through 200 photos and look at all of that and try to find the ones that are good. As the photographer, you're the one that's supposed to do that. You're that front door, and so you limit what they have, and you can still charge little. Like I was looking back when I was starting to kind of grow this again in like 2017, I had a friend reach out and she had twin daughters. She wanted to do senior photos. I charged them $75 a piece. It was a 2-hour shoot.
Oh, wow.
And I gave them 100 freaking photos.
Oh,
and I'm like, and then she just reached out recently because her youngest is getting ready to graduate. And I'm like, I charge a lot more than that now. Yeah. Don't do that. It really is a time suck. I mean, from the photographer standpoint, but also from the client standpoint, they have to go through all that crap because you wanted to just vomit out photos. Don't do that. Limit what they see. Give them the best. If the best is 20 photos when you're first starting out, that's fine. You're only letting your client see the best. There's 6 points. I'm gonna go over them again in this little slide right here. Right there. Myra, thank you so much for working with me. I really do appreciate your time.
Of course. Yeah, it was a pleasure working with you like always.
Always, always. She's got like the most beautiful smile you've ever seen. If you don't smile when she smiles, there's something dead inside of you. And remember, if you're in San Antonio and you need lashes, go hit her up because she does lashes and eyebrow treatment and starting nails. And those nails are gorgeous, by the way. That's a French manicure?
French tip.
Look at me, man. I know what I'm talking
Me
about. All right, so thank you again for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. I hope you've enjoyed these 6 tips, and hopefully they can eliminate some of the time waste that I had to go through when I first started. If you like what you see, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the little bell for notifications for every time I post. Remember, I've got new podcasts that comes out every Tuesday, new videos like this every Wednesday. And until next time, keep shooting. Hey, so real fast, end of this video. These wheels, they're great. They're different. I think they work so much better on a nice, even surface. Out here, the bulb dropped how many times? 4 times? It basically worked itself loose 4 times out of the head of the flash. So as much as I appreciate people saying, hey, try these caster wheels, they just don't work for the environment that I'm shooting in. But in studio, something on a flat surface, I think they would work just fine.